So we don't have a patriotic or a national attitude in this poem. There is no jingoistic message in this poem. It is not proud of war or proud of soldiers. It is just focused on the perpetual and constant suffering as a result of being trapped and imprisoned by war. And it takes on quite a melancholy and foreboding tone, in the sense that we don't really believe that the soldiers are going to survive this poem, the events of the poem. And we don't believe that they will ever make it out of this environment, that they will ever escape. They will just suffer this constant exposure. And we have this vision. Shutters and doors, all closed. On us, the doors are closed. And obviously we have this representation of a door. And we have this idea of a closed door. Now, this image of a door is interesting because it's a tangible image of quite an intangible, abstract concept. So, the door itself, let's think about what this tangible image would represent. What would a door represent? What is a door, literally? It allows you to exit and go elsewhere. It's almost like a barrier, isn't it? Allowing you to exit, allowing you to go someplace else. But the door in this image is closed. What does that represent? The idea of somewhere where you are trapped, imprisoned, stuck. Okay? And this image of a closed door does represent that idea that Wilfred Owen is trying to represent, that they are trapped and imprisoned by war, that they cannot go elsewhere, they cannot exit, that perhaps they'll never get out because the shutters and doors are all closed. And he does something very clever here. He uses assonance, which is the repetition of a sound. Now, specifically, assonance is the repetition of a vowel sound. And he says, and doors all closed, on us the doors are closed. Now, the repetition of this O sound, O, through this part of the poem, it elongates the sound. Doors all closed, on us the doors are closed. It almost slows down the poem, and it makes it feel kind of uncomfortably long, like the poem is taking too long. Because this idea of being trapped and imprisoned, this idea of being in stasis, is constant. Its theme's never ending. And therefore, never ending. And therefore, it's so difficult to live in. It is so difficult for these soldiers to be in this exposed, open and cold conditions, waiting for the war, because it is so uncomfortable and difficult to feel trapped, seemingly forever. And here he really helps us to understand the painful imprisonment and stasis of war. And I guess it's a criticism of war itself, that it traps and imprisons people. It is not about fighting for some victory. He is trying to shine a light on and to expose the reality of war. Because often the stories of war that people get are of soldiers returning from war, heads held high, some bruises, flags flying, and victory, or soldiers signing up to war, so brave. And the reality is that many, many people just suffered and inevitably died. And that is what Wilfred Owen wants to expose in his poem that is not patriotic at all.